Hello, this is Korath Landwalker, and this afternoon we are going to begin my final stream of the year for Star Citizen. The reason for this should be pretty self-evident. We do have a Christmas holiday rolling next week, and I am definitely not going to be online on Christmas Day. I'm sure there will be many dedicated streamers who will do exactly that, but I will be far away. Well, I'll be on the road technically, so I really won't be able to do anything. But if things go as planned, I should show up again at the very start of 2952, the new year. So, what are we going to do here on the last stream of my year? Well, I'm not going to be sticking around here. Port Olisar is a nice place and all, but I'd rather skip it. Now you may notice, however, in the center of my screen, or the upper center, that I have an interesting mission up. The Idris mission. So, we're going to see if I can get there in time to actually shoot at it a few times. It's a good start, if nothing else. Now, if I'm going up against the Idris, then there is really only one ship for me to fly here. I mean, there are other ships available, but for me, it's going to be the Crusader Ares Ion. Now, the Ion is going to be undergoing some mutation with the next patch, which should come in sometime this coming week. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee it because CIG is going to put something out before the holidays, and then they're going to vanish for 2 weeks until kind of like me almost, really. Except, I don't work for CIG, for which the world can probably be grateful. Now, the bad news, such as it is that I am over at Crusader, and the Idris is over at Hurston. Occupational hazards. Luckily, the Ion comes pre-equipped with a cross-field quantum drive, which means the trip over there will not be horrible. Now, I grabbed this mission when I logged in maybe 10-15 minutes ago. So it's perfectly, and it came up like the moment I logged in, which means it's probably been up for a little while. So there's really no telling as to whether or not our good buddy Maltrox Arlington will be dead before then or after my arrival. Actually, if it's after my arrival, then I'm certainly going to get my licks in. Ion, the Ares is a nice looking ship to begin with. I might have mentioned this on a couple streams previous, but it still is. I like the design, in spite of the fact that it's got one highly massive asymmetrical feature. Its gun. And this is the crux of the big change coming up. Incidentally, this is not PTU. If you're looking for the new stuff from Public Test Universe, this is not your stream. This is live. I almost pretty much never do a stream on PTU because, for starters, it's always a comedy of errors. And it's even more chaotic an environment than the alpha is, the live alpha. But one of the things they're doing apparently is altering the rate of fire for the gun, the damage, the tracking. There are mixed opinions, so to speak, as to how people think of it. People like to think of it as a laser cannon, slow shooting, high alpha damage, and they're saying that it's getting closer to Well, it's not exactly a repeater, but certainly faster than a cannon. So DPS is kind of the same, but how much damage per shot goes down. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with this. And the reason for it is I didn't pick it up because it was a cannon. I picked it up because it was laser. I wanted to be able to have something that didn't run out of ammo within 5 minutes. Honestly, I was more concerned about 5 seconds. Okay, Arlington is still there, so we may very well get our shots on. Now, I do feel compelled to mention that the Idris doesn't have the teeth it used to. Because every time I've gone up against the Idris on this patch, it has had absolutely nothing in the way of operational turrets. In other words, I shot at it, but it didn't shoot back. It was completely helpless. Just about completely helpless. And that's not really what you want out of the Idris. You want to see it actually fight back and be a challenge. But I'm not going to pass up free credits. Speaking of free credits, always, 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 always pick up Call to Arms. It is a horrible thing not to pick up Call to Arms, because we really don't want to lose out on free money if there are any escorts still flying around. Alright, so if the Arlington guy is still there, then we are going to be engaging in the only consistent capital ship in the game.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
And so far, I am not even getting a blip on enemy ships, which means I may very well be the only person on the server going after this thing. Probably because I'm the only one who is insane enough to be spending the amount of time it's going to take to kill the Arlington Idris. Unfortunately, what also bothers me is the fact that since I don't see him and I'm closing in on that marker awfully fast, I don't even want to think about where he's going to spawn in. It's very likely that he's going to spawn in right on top of me and horrible, horrible things will happen. Especially since, you know, I didn't exactly go out of my way to tag another hospital. Up, and there he is. And he's already at 6.8 kilometers away. So we're going to start closing in. I seem to have made a tiny error here. Let's slow down for a second and hope he doesn't shoot me. Because one of the things I want to make sure I do here... Okay, his target status is up, and it looks like he might be shooting me, so... Oh, that's right. Even if he doesn't have to shoot me with the turrets, he might still have an operational railgun. The railgun of the Idris will mess you up. As in, it will kill you. One shot, dead. Now, the fact I'm in a fighter helps mitigate this somewhat. But really, it's only somewhat. Now, as you can see, as I land hits, my combat rating goes up, and depending on how the proportion of combat rating goes, indicates how much I will be paid when I finish this guy off. Although, to be honest, the real accurate word is if I should finish this guy off. Up. And now we have other hostiles coming into play. And these guys do have operational weapons. So, we're going to head ourselves out a little closer out here and take out the ads before they take me out. At least that's the plan. Whether or not it actually works. Now, the ability to hit these smaller fighters, like the Hurricane,
Contact.
is going to be a lot rougher with 3.16's changes, or at least that's the way I've been given to understand. Oh, actually, this guy's in a Gladius. Which is worse, because it's faster and more nimble than the Hurricane.
Target destroyed.
The good news, though, is that smaller fighters at the moment blow up very quickly when hit with the ion. How long that lasts is going to be an open question. Saber taken out. Hornet. Let's get the Hornet next. I'd rather have the ads taken out because they're actually shooting me, as opposed to the Idris, which is basically just sitting there like a bump on a log, pretending to be effective.
Shit. Shit.
You know, I'm beginning to wonder if that Hornet's even operational. Oh, he's still there. You got a lot of secondary explosions on the Hornet before he actually goes down.
Target destroyed.
And that leaves us with the Idris. Now we can focus in on our primary target. And you'll notice that all this time, Idris hasn't done squat. It's done nothing. And that kind of kills some of the challenge here. Oh. Another ad. Well, far be it from me to ignore him.
Target destroyed.
Right now, the Idris is basically a sitting duck. I like to think that the criminal gang that swiped it are total incompetents. As in, they don't have a clue how to operate this thing. It's like, where do I turn the power on the turrets? So now we are going to engage in the painfully excruciating task of taking down a shield. Now ideally, we'll take down one shield facing and then just pound it repeatedly. The problem, of course, is what shield we're going to pound repeatedly. And I'm going to move some more power to my weapons. At this point, I don't care about my engine boost. I don't care about my shields, because Idris is doing nothing. Yeah, and while I say that it's the Arlington gang being completely incompetent on how to operate an Idris, the truth is a lot simpler. This is what we would call a bug in Star Citizen. I know, right? A bug in Star Citizen? Say it's not so! Say it's not so! It is so. Now, one of the annoying things about the way the game is these days is you can't really see the heads-up display, except on your MFD, to see what the target status is. It used to be able to, you can't anymore, and that's really irritating because now I'm more or less having to guess where I'm hitting him, how well I'm hitting him, and damage is right out. Now, if I'm lucky, I give myself an angle where I can see the MFD and still maintain my line of fire. Now the good news is that with all my power to weapons, it recharges pretty quickly. We're going to close in a little bit, make it a little easier to hit them. I mean, it's a big target. You have to be blind to
Son of a bitch.
not be able to hit this guy. Okay, his back shield is almost gone, which is good because that means after that, he starts taking actual damage. Now, you could do this kind of thing in an Ares Inferno as well. The problem here is that the Inferno is using ballistic weapons, which means after unloading a ton of munitions on him, you have to go back, restock your ammo supply, and hope that his shields haven't completely regenerated by the time you do so. It's a lot of back and forth. Whereas when you're using the Ion, you are taking advantage of the fact that you are using energy weapons which slowly recharge. Or recharge faster depending on, you know, your power triangle setup. So you can see he's starting to take some damage there. And once he starts taking serious damage, we'll actually be able to see some of the damage actually happening on the ship. You'll be seeing damage states on it. And that's always cool to see. To get the idea that, yeah, the abuse it's taking is actually working in your favor. Now, I am kind of, you know, over a kilometer away, almost 1.5 kilometers away. And I think that kind of should tell you something about the size of the Idris. I mean, it doesn't look very big here, but I'm firing at a ship that is 1.5 kilometers away, and getting further away by the moment. Let's get a little closer. We are not talking about a small ship here. It only seems that way because of the display here. Now I'm about 0.5 kilometer away. And if nothing else, I would hope that this illustrates that, yes, size matters. Now you can see some of the damage accumulating. Oh, maybe not so much. It's kind of glowing from the hits, but we're not yet seeing any real damage being done to the ship. Plus, I'm occasionally hitting the shields. That doesn't help. And he's getting further away again, too. Let's change the angle of approach a little. Because if I change the angle of approach, I can more consistently hit the backside. And if you hit the backside more consistently... Uh-oh. I think he just figured out that turning around to face me might actually be helpful. That's not a good thing, because that's where the railgun is. And while the turrets don't seem to be operational, I have no desire to test the power of that railgun. Unfortunately, some of my shots are going to the front shields now. There we go. Because we do not want to be hitting the front shield. The front shield is all nice and full. And if we start hitting the front shield, the back shield starts getting the ability to recharge. And we don't want that one bit, do we? No. What we want is to cause all kinds of nasty damage to happen to that Idris. Now, at some point, destroying capital ships will be a lot more complicated than just shooting it until it blows up. I mean, obviously shooting it until it blows up is the thing, but stuff will happen in response. They'll have repair crews undoubtedly doing their thing. All sorts of possibilities here. Now you can see that we are beginning to have some effect here. So see some of the back end getting scorched. That's all us. That's all us. But I do want to reiterate that under normal circumstances, this is not the way it works. The fact is that their turrets are not operational. They're not operating as intended. So this is, for all intents and purposes, an exploit. Even though the exploit is nothing that I'm doing except for the fact that I'm actually here. If you were willing to take your time, you could kill this thing with an arrow at this point. Well, maybe. It does. You do have to get enough damage to overcome its shield regeneration. But aside from that, I'm hitting the front end again. Aside from that, I am taking advantage of a helpless imbecile. Now that said, the Arlington gang are a bunch of criminals, and my conscience is perfectly clear of taking advantage of their inadequacies. Getting a little bit of strange desync happening here too. Notice he was kind of stopping, kind of seizing back and forth a little bit. And he's 1.5 kilometers away again, which means I want to close in, recharge some of that power. And take some shots again at the back end of the bad guy ship. Changing my angle of assault slightly. Trying to get to there we go. Trying to get to the point where I'm hitting the aft section. Because really don't want to deal with his shields if I don't have to. But you can see now he's got smoke trailing out too. The damage is beginning to tell. Well, looks like we might be, okay, looks like we're going to be hitting the back end here. The underside, which I'm not entirely sure how the shield coverage is working on that. Although I'm now inclined to say good enough. And you can see on this more lighted side the scars of the hits. Now, have no doubt of this. If the enemy ship had operational turrets, this would be a lot harder to deal with, because a single hit from the weapons of the Idris is going to mess up a fighter's day. It may not one-shot it, but it'll do a lot of damage. Now this is, as far as I'm aware, the only mission in the game that will actually have an Idris to fight. So we really don't know if it's a problem that just any Idris, or if it's just something with this mission. And boy, they sound upset, don't they? It's very, very tragic. Very tragic indeed. Once we get through this series of shots, we'll take a look at the MFD and see what it says. And look at all that red. Nice bright red, but we'll look even a little further. We're going to scan the Idris now, and we're going to see what kind of percentage health it's at. 52% health. Okay, if you round up, it's 53. Clearly, it is not in the best shape of its life. So we're going to continue heaping on the abuse because, well, hey, they're criminals. They deserve it. Looks like he's had some shield regen kicking in, though, but we ought to be able to put it down fairly quickly. See how it's glowing red when I hit the shield? That is an indicator that their shields are in bad shape, and now I'm not even getting that, which means their shields are not only in bad shape, but also gone on that particular shield emitter arc. So I believe that it will be not much longer before we are rewarded with the final act. The act of explosion.
Hydrogen fuel, 75%.
That's okay, we can handle it. We can handle a little bit of hydrogen fuel loss. Yeah, he's looking kind of hurt there, isn't he? Look at all those cracks and scorch marks and hull damage. That's the way you like to see your Idrises. Well, you like to see them that way if you happen to be fighting those said Idrises. Obviously, if you are the one flying the Idris, you don't want to see that. He's taking hits, but he's still stubbornly clinging to life. But I do not believe it will be much longer before he gives up the ghost. The key here is to make sure your fire is concentrated on one facing. I find the rear is a lot simpler to deal with, but you can also go after a side if you're good enough to stay on one side. You can go after the front if you're willing to risk being in front of that with that railgun. I don't know that the railgun is operational or not, but is that really the kind of thing you want to take a chance with? I think not. I think not. He can't be taking too much more. We're getting a lot of hits. A lot of hits that are on areas that do not have shields. We are getting a few on the shields, obviously, because, you know, my aim is not perfect, and the ion cannon, oh, and there he goes. And that is the most satisfying explosion in the game. Hasta Lambada. Alright, now that we've taken care of that, let's take a quick pit stop over at Everest Harbor. I don't believe I have any real damage to repair, but I don't really have anything, I don't have too much in the way to restock. But I wouldn't mind having fuel put back to normal.
Quantum travel complete.
And thank you oh so much. Oh, okay, it's almost 30 meters away. 30 kilometers away. Okay, server lag, that's an issue. It's occasionally an issue. Okay, there we go, there we go. And now that I can see the station somewhat and have a pretty good idea of its where I am in relative positioning, I can make an approach. The quantum engines also have this irritating habit of not shutting off when you want them to. It's annoying, but... Okay, so that was like 200,000 plus cash for the payout there. That ain't bad. That puts me at over 2.5 million credits. Not a bad number. I have not considered what to spend it on yet. I'm still kind of accumulating credits here. I've got a couple ideas, but I'm going to hold off until the 3.16 patch lands and I know where everything stands as far as, what persisted. Everything should persist with the exception of certifications. And that's kind of where I want to go today here. Right now, my reputation is such that I can unlock all the way to very high-risk targets. However, thanks to working with one of my org mates at the Eternal Writers, and I'm going to throw up a link on that just in case anyone is interested in checking us out. One of my org mates had happened to be doing a certification mission, and he shared it with me so that we could take out the Hammerhead opponent together, and that opened up the extreme risk targets for me as well, which is great. But it also means that when the time comes, I'm not going to be able to count on reputation to get me access to those missions, because my reputation isn't high enough to get that on my own. So, what I would like to do is get to the point where I can.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Now, there is a kind of a cheat that you can think about here too, and it's not really a cheat really, it's just kind of a cheat, is that you can get those kind of numbers doing Eckhart missions. His group missions will eventually pay out that kind of money too, but the downside to that is they will require you to do a lot more traveling. You have to go to a couple planets to do the job, whereas North Rock, who will basically offer these bounties as a part of, bounty missions, they will pay out much nicer because they're in the same planet. You'll get 3 targets around the same planet, although technically they tend to be around the moons, but it's still the moons of a single planet.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Okay, what do we got here? Minor damage, minor restock. My fuel is the biggest thing, which is exactly what I was expecting it to be. So as far as I'm concerned, so far, so good. Now while that's going, let's take a look at the bounty board here at Hurston. And we've got VHRTs and we've got an ERT. That's the one we're going to grab. As far as reputation goes, Bounty Hunters Guild, I am a smidge over halfway. I don't think it's enough. I can't call it 2/3, but it's more than halfway. So the odds of me getting to filling this bar, which will make the license available to me, if I didn't already have it, a lot easier. Now the good news though is that even if well, it does mean it's not likely to happen today. It won't be for lack of trying though. Now, unlike Crusader, the bad guys will tend to show up at multiple moons. If I were doing this at the planet Crusader, they tend to congregate around one moon.
Thank you.
Because, it's the moon of Yella, and that's where the hive of scum and villainy in the Stanton star system resides. Grim Hex. Of course, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't say that if I get blown up here, it is the Grim Hex that I will be spawning. In fact, I really probably should have set my hospital back here. But why? I mean, I can do these missions just as easily at a Crusader. I just choose not to. Mainly because, I wanted to get over here to do the Idris mission, and now that I'm here, I'm cutting down the travel time and spending more time doing what I like to think the viewers want to see. Blowing stuff up. I think that while we're waiting for the bounty to show up, and even more importantly, waiting for the marker to match the target, because that's a bug. It's worth kind of taking a brief stock as to where things have gone this year. And I don't have the roadmap and all that in front of me, but we've gotten the inventories. I mean, just the last patch, we had the inventory system and the medical gameplay put in. Oh, good. Basu is not my target, which means I can shoot him at will. I approve. We got the planet Orison put into play. Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. The planet Crusader had its landing zone of Orison put into play. There we go. Plenty of new ships. A couple new weapons. Oh, primary target is available now. But I'm still going to go after this guy first, because he's a Valkyrie, and he's a larger target, and I kind of want him out of the way. For reasons a lot like that. Now, the Hurricane's going to be rough, and while it's going to be rough, it's not going to be nearly as rough as it's going to be once the 3.16 patch rolls in, because with 3.16, the accuracy on this gun is going straight to pot. And it'll be interesting to see how well one can do against Hurricanes in those circumstances. And as a Hammerhead is my last target. And the Hammerhead is a lot tougher. Or at least it would ordinarily be a lot tougher. But the truth is, Hammerheads and ships like it, these are the ships that the Ion is built to kill. And unlike the Idris, its guns are working. But as you can see on the MFD, I am doing some damage to him quickly. But this is the kind of abuse I would expect to be dodging fighting the Idris. Recharge faster, recharge faster. I meant my guns, not your shields. There we go. Definitely not something I would attempt in a lesser ship. Legend! Hey, kill it till it's dead! Hello, Legend Eternal. How are you doing today? How's life treating you on your end of the monitor? For those who came in late, we have hopped over to Hurston because I wanted to go and kill an Idris. And now the Idris is dead. So now I'm kind of amusing myself by trying to get my reputation high enough that once the next patch lands, I will be able to deal with extreme risk targets without issue. And that is not the target location I wanted to go after. I want the other target location, the one all the way over the other side. There we go. All good. Excellent. Excellent. For those who may be unaware, Legend is the... And he hates it when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Legend is the boss of the org I'm in, which I will, once again, hopefully pop a link into. So if you like what you're seeing, feel free to stop in and say hello. We're pretty easy to get along with. Don't even have to be a Star Citizen player. I'm not a boss! It's also worth mentioning that if you're more of an early bird, Legend is someone who also runs his own Twitch stream Saturday mornings for Star Citizen. So we're going to slap out that shout out there so that anybody interested can stop in, click the link, give the guy a follow. He's one of those affiliate people. He needs all the follows he can get. You're welcome, Legend. You're welcome. Now, as you may have noticed from my title here, this is my final stream of 2951, because next Saturday is Christmas, and I ain't streaming on Christmas Day. In fact, I'm likely to be on the road Christmas Day, so that makes it unlikely that I'll be doing anything game related. New Year's Day, however, all bets are off. Which one of these guys is closer? 21? 21? Yeah, you know what? This guy is definitely target number 1. Number 1 with a bullet. A laser bullet, so to speak. Let's see if I can get this guy blown up before he blows me up. It's going to be very interesting to see just how much worse this is going to be when the next patch lands. Bye-bye. And let's pick on these guys because, well, they're here and they annoy me. They don't pay me nearly as much to kill as the primary targets, but, well, my mom always told me to clean up after myself.
Attack on shields.
So by all means, let's finish our house cleaning. And who's our final contestant? Another Vanguard Warden. Incidentally, Legend, I couldn't help but notice that you spent a good chunk of your stream stuck in Klesher. In fact, even after I had to stop off, I noticed that you still were spending an awful lot of time in Klesher rehabilitation. I was disillusioned. As one of the premier escapers of Klesher, I expected better. For those unfamiliar with Star Citizen, yes, there is space jail. If you've been a bad person, then you too can end up in the Klesher Rehabilitation Facility. Yeah, mistakes were made. Yes, it does put me in mind again to somewhere along the line perhaps consider doing another prison stream. Not today, but you never know. I haven't done an attempt to escape Klesher for a while.
Quantum travel complete.
Usually it's a lot simpler for me to just, hit the oxygen kiosks and reduce my sentence that way.
Quantum travel engaged.
The final target of this particular bounty is floating around the moon of Magda. I've taken out a Hammerhead, I've taken down a Warden, so
Quantum travel complete.
I'm betting this last one will either be a Valkyrie or a Hurricane. We'll find out momentarily.
Quantum
Just
travel
gotta zip past this orbital marker,
Quantum travel complete.
head to the target location. And there we go.
Engaged. Quantum travel complete.
The target is somewhere in this asteroid thicket. I realize that a lot of people will refer to it as an asteroid field and all that, but I don't think it's not big enough to really rate being called an asteroid field. So I'm going to go with asteroid thicket. Well, something just spawned in, and ooh, the marker moved too, which means the primary target is up here. But I'm not getting a scan on him, which tells me he's probably going to be a Vanguard Warden. Well, no, because he's closer than these guys. I thought Hurricanes had a bigger signature than that, but maybe I'm wrong. It's a Hurricane. I really thought they had a bigger power signature. Oops. Unfortunately, Hurricanes are also a pain in the ass to deal with. That's the nice way of putting it. Dislike these guys mightily. They take a lot of punishment. They have scattergun weaponry. Although, strangely, he has yet to open fire on me. That bothers me for some reason. Of course, it could be that I'm just not close enough for him to shoot me. The range on the Ion's guns are a little larger than... There we go. A little further out than the weaponry of the Hurricane, who, from the looks of it, hasn't been scratched all that much by my opening fire on him. In fact, it doesn't look like I've even scratched his shields. Bodes ill for the future 3.16 updates. So maybe I take out some of the other annoyances first.
Attack on shields.
Deal with minor problems first that can become major problems if I let them become. Now see, I am getting hits on the Valkyrie here. Valkyrie down. Let's get the Warden out of the way. And once we got him, slowly but surely, I think I took off both wings. Okay, now that I only have to worry about one annoyance, let's see if we can take out that Hurricane and put this bounty mission to bed.
Shields.
Eventually, this guy is going to annoy me enough to the point where I'm going to decide, heck with this, and start using missiles. I'm probably too close, though. Oh, do I have another target somewhere around here? I'm seeing another indicator on my screen there. There is.
Hydrogen fuel. 75%.
I might have to deal with that soon. I didn't think I should be expecting more ads, but apparently I am.
Shit.
Well, the good news is the Hurricane looks like he's finally getting enough damage to actually go down if I can just land a few more solid hits. Except now his shields are regenerating again, so it's going to be back to scratch. Well, the nose is hurt.
Here's something with your name on it.
I got something with your name on it, too. Oh, that's right. You better run. Recharge gun, recharge gun.
Target destroyed.
Target destroyed. Now, where's those ads who are beginning to be annoying? A Drake Caterpillar? Well, that's unusual. Of all the things to show up here to potentially be a problem, this was not one of the ones I was thinking about. But I can never resist blowing up a Drake ship.
Attack on shields.
Incidentally, for the individuals out there who are, for some inexplicable reason, drawn to Drake starships, there will be very soon a new Drake Cutlass variant, the Cutlass Steel, which is being marketed as a dropship. And if you like the idea of having 18 people crowded in a ship that has life support for 4, that ship is for you. Of course, since it is a Drake ship, it is the same hot garbage that you come to expect with the name Drake, so don't get your hopes up. Whoa. Someone's firing missiles at me, and things are getting a lot more complicated here. You know, everything was going fine. There was me, and there was a Drake Caterpillar. And now we've got all these other ships that are showing up late to the party. Okay, clearly I'm gonna have to deal with some of those guys first.
Shields.
Man, it is getting crowded. The airspace around here is getting crowded. What is this guy flying? Can't really get a good look. Aurora? Oh, seriously? Seriously? I'm being attacked by an Aurora? Okay, hold on. These guys are red to me. How am I getting homicides? Okay, fine. Looks like we'll be seeing Klesher after all sometime today. Oh, right. If I'm not getting paid call to arms money anymore, then killing this Drat Caterpillar is really silly. Luckily, I should be able to outrace a Caterpillar. Alright.
Have fun with that.
Oh yeah, I'll show you fun.
Contact.
Okay, clearly I don't want to be here anymore.
Quantum travel engaged.
So, you may be asking yourself, why, of all places, am I going to Microtech? I mean, seriously, Microtech. Well, when you got crime status, you're going to want to be able to deal with little problems like getting rid of your crime status. And one way to do that is to basically break into a security depot and hack your crimes away. Actually, you know what?
Quantum travel complete.
Let's go to Arcor instead. Arcor is even less traveled than Microtech these days, so I don't need to be going that fast anymore.
Quantum travel engaged.
And now, I'm going to let y'all in on a little something that I've done that takes advantage of the new physicalized inventory system. You see, right now, I am in a flight suit and a helmet. I don't have any crypto keys. I don't have any guns. I got nothing. Nothing! But what I do have is foresight. You see, I took a little bit of time over the last week and a half or so to purchase a number of crypto keys and a number of guns. And what I did was I put them in select locations on moons all over the Stanton system. The thinking being that if I were into a situation exactly like this, what I could do would be to go to one of what I'm thinking of as my safe houses, land there, pick up the weapons and crypto keys, and then go from there to whichever security depot I need to get to. Now, granted, there are still some tiny potential flaws in the plan, like the fact that a lot of the security depots do have guns that are active. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. The Idris mission is up again. Oh, you know what? Idris pays a lot better than hunting me down, so hopefully they'll pay more attention to the Idris than to me. That said, I'm also going to be a lot easier to kill than the Idris, so you know, it kind of goes both ways here. Okay, Arc Core. Now, if I recall correctly, and that's not a guarantee because my short-term memory has enough missing links in here. Okay, maybe it was Illyria then. Sal 2, I want to say? I want to say it's Sal 2. Let me hop over to my knickknacks. Sal 2. Excellent. Illyria was picked as a safe house location thanks to the fact that there is a security depot, and this will become as a big shock here, right here at Illyria. The turrets are the big question mark, but on the other hand, I got a size 7 gun.
Quantum travel engaged.
So I'm going to say that the odds are even.
Quantum travel complete.
Now, sadly, with this last patch, there was a bit of a criminal tragedy implemented. You see, once upon a time, there were multiple types of crypto keys, but they all got normalized with the last patch, so now there is only one. And it's not the good one. So we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a problem. Well, we're going to have multiple problems, but this one's a pretty significant one.
Quantum travel complete.
Alright, let's bump our speed up a tad. Reset the route so that I can actually see my target destination. Now, none of this would be possible if not for the fact that the Ares starfighters do have small storage containers to work with. The storage containers makes this all possible. Drop the old landing gear as I come on approach.
Landing gear down.
Cut speed so I don't turn into a greasy stain on the surface of the moon. That would be a really embarrassing way to close things out here. And we'll come in for a landing right here. Yes, yes, wine, wine, wine. They're going to complain about my armistice privileges, but I don't care.
Engines
I'm not here for the armistice privileges. I'm here for my inventory access. So we're going to run to the back of the ship and access the storage container. Why can't I access the storage container? You know, the plan may have just gotten a big wrinkle here. I wonder if there's a 30K incoming. No, that's working. Good enough. Gun on my back. Crypto key on my person. Good enough. If he's not going to cooperate with me one way, we'll have it go the other way. So now I have a gun, and now I have a crypto key. So phase 1 is complete. Now at some point, when I no longer have to worry about my criminal status, either because I managed to clear out my crime stat or whether I've served my sentence in Klesher, I will eventually come back and refill the safe house with a gun and crypto key, depending on, you know, how things end up. Alright, first things first, I can't actually do that. Let's see, clear my route, and because of a bug here, I can't go directly to my surface location. I need to actually go to an orbital marker first. That is also a bug. I know. In Star Citizen? A bug? How can this be?
Quantum travel engaged.
Pretty easy, honestly.
Quantum travel complete. Landing gear up.
Okay, arc core. Let's get the right planetary area nailed down here, eh? Now we're going to head down to... Where are you hiding on here? There we are. Let's see what we can do about taking care of that pesky, pesky criminal status rating. One of two things will happen here. I will succeed, or I will be in prison.
Travel engaged.
It may happen at the hands of the turrets. It may happen at the hands of the security guards within. It may happen at the hands of a player bounty hunter. All of these things are possible. It is over the night side, which is going to be annoying because, well,
Quantum travel complete.
I prefer to be able to see my targets well in advance. But if that's the way it's gonna be, that's the way it's gonna be. It is fortunate that I am carrying size 7 guns on this ship, which means if I can land hits on the turrets, those turrets will not last long. The problem is that sometimes they don't spawn in right away, and when they don't spawn in right away, they start being extremely inconvenient. And I'm guessing something does spawn in right away because Cutlass Black. Seriously? I'm going to be attacked by a Cutlass Black? Okay, fine. If it's gotta be, it's gotta be. This guy is obviously here for me. So I might as well erase him while I have the opportunity. Or at least try to erase him. Run, coward! Unfortunately, the MFD did not maintain my target lock, or my targeting solution, so, well, you know, 2 can play that game. He's taking damage, but he's not dead. looks like he's going for the big jousting kind of technique here, just blasting past me and... Oh, well, maybe not. He's actually turning around.
Attack on shields.
Really didn't expect someone to be here at Arc Core or around Lyria. I think he's in for a horrible surprise if he thinks he's going to outlast my countermeasures.
Target destroyed.
Oops. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, missiles, mistakes for me, yeah. Having flashbacks there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my first legitimate PvP kill. Admittedly, a Cutlass versus an Ion is kind of an unfair fight.
Attack on shields.
And that takes care of that turret. Who would have thunk it? Okay, down.
Engines off.
And that brings us to step 2. I'm surprised I didn't get crime stat for that guy. Let's see, firing mode. Yeah, I think standard fire is the way to go here. I only have 60 rounds to work with here, so... So, here we go. Here's the part where it comes to victory or death. Ew. Aren't you dead? Okay, things have gone a little crazy here. Let's... Okay, so far so good. It's not the gun I would have wanted to use for this, but, well, you use what you gotta use. Oh, come on. Oh, great. Looks like the crypto key didn't happen to, oh, wait, no, here it is. So why can't I pick up my crypto key? Oh, it's in my hand, that's why. I is not smart. Okay, we're gonna let that go for a little bit, and I'm gonna try to hunt down a different gun if I can. Demico. That would have been nice if, you know, the gun had actually landed where I could get it. Oh, there it is. Okay, this we can use. Hopefully the thing isn't getting ready to abort on me. Oh, how about that? It actually got past the first bubble there. I'm shocked. I was expecting to see the retry now kind of message. Of course, my crime stat's also up to 4 now, so, you know. Oh, I know why that. Okay, that's right. The guy probably just, the guy I killed off in the Cutlass probably was able to press charges. With any luck, he's spawned in somewhere like Lorville. Oh my god, I'm up to 3rd bubble and it didn't stop? I'm amazed. Let's test fire. Good, good. Quick firing. I like that. Third bubble about to complete. Continue. Can you feel the tension? Oh, loot box. I really shouldn't. Okay, it's just a helmet. If it were armor, I'd be considering it. Last bubble about, well, next to last bubble about to fill. Okay, great. I shouldn't have to worry about aborts anymore, which is the good news. Still don't know where these guys are hiding. At the very least, I've got 4, maybe 5 homicides to worry about. Right. Access granted. Excellent. Give me the rest. Give me the records. My go-to is mental incompetence. Don't judge me. There's an impressive amount of homicides there. One down. Wrongful arrest, sure, why not? Now, obviously, while you can do this with just one person, it's always best to have backup, watching your back here, because, well, you know, trying to concentrate on 2 things at once, very rough. Okay, I'm back down to 3, so I've reduced the amount of pay someone's going to get when they kill me. Alright, good, good. Not much more to go here. Once I'm at crime stat 2, people no longer get paid for killing me. At least, not from a bounty. Call to arms might still do it, though. But if I can get off the bounty board, that's a big plus. No, we're still on the bounty board, so apparently I've still got enough here that has earned my spot on the board. Okay. I don't even care which excuse I'm using anymore. It's like, just get the stuff off my record. Crime stat 2, I'm officially off the bounty board. Anybody who has my bounty mission will have suddenly discovered that their mission has failed. That said, you know, I'm pretty sure my ship will still be considered red, so, you know, spiteful individuals might go down and just blow it up. Oh, that was fast. And after this, all I'll have is battery, and then we are done. Crime stat 1. Extenuating circumstances. And just like that, I am considered pure as the driven snow once more. And with that, I can leave this place. Well, I guess I could go opening up loot boxes and, you know, swiping stuff. But, you know, I'm content to leave dead bodies dead. It's not like these guys are Hurston security, at which point we have no qualms about defiling their corpses under any circumstances. So, what do you do once you've successfully convinced people that you are not a bad guy? Well, I'm going to say the first thing I'm going to do is head over to ArcCore proper and buy a replacement crypto key. I did say I was going to do that. So, we've had some excitement here, haven't we? Took out the Idris, and there was much rejoicing. Did a bounty, a group bounty. Got paid for that. Started to beat up on a Drake Caterpillar that was hostile, and then shot out somebody who apparently wasn't hostile, for some reason. Then we had to work out little problems like, you know, hacking away my criminal rating, my crime stat. That got done.
Quantum travel.
So we are in a pretty good place. Now, I have no idea what will happen to inventory with the next patch. It's possible that they'll all be put back at our starting location, which for me tends to be Orison. At which point I will probably have to do all this all over again. As far as, getting the crypto keys together, the guns, stuff like that.
Quantum travel. Engage.
Are we going to be on the light side? We are going to be on the light side of ArcCore, which means Area 18 Spaceport, Riker Memorial, will be pretty easy to find. In fact, there it is right there. A lot of folks new to the ArcCore planet,
Quantum travel.
and Area 18 in general, often have trouble finding the spaceport. And, well, this is what it looks like. Kind of almost like a really wacky-shaped spearhead. That's the description I like to use. It's a little rougher at night, but you will usually be pointed in the general direction of where you want to go. Eventually you'll see flashing red lights, and that's your big cue. There is a little bit of poetic justice that my first official PvP kill would be against a Drake Cutlass Black. Sometimes I have a great sense of the appropriate, and sometimes the appropriate has a great sense of me. This would be the latter. Okay, we are getting the call in. I should be notified to grab my ATC. Excellent. Open sesame.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I would very much like to proceed to my assigned landing bay. And I believe this is a horizontal land. The fun thing about Area 18 is that they've got the vertical and the horizontal landing bays. I'm in a relatively small ship right now, so I'm going to be getting the horizontal. We control the vertical. We control the horizontal. Props to folks who recognize that reference. Oh, I honestly thought I was going to clip my wings on that one.
Engines. Systems off.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Very nice, very nice. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the Demico machine gun and put it here temporarily. And we're going to temporarily... I have a spare set of armor for emergencies. If I need to carry stuff, for example, like, say, spare crypto keys. I really guess I don't need to, but doesn't matter. Does not matter. Honestly, Area 18 isn't an area that I go very frequently these days because, most of the stuff that I like to do can be done at Crusader or at Hurston. Area 18 only recently got ground missions that you could do a lot of. I mean, they had a couple, but it was really just a couple. And they generally don't have bounties. I mean, let's see. Let's just do a quick look over here to Contract Monitor. All the bounties I've... Oh, what's this? Okay, yeah, that's a ground bounty. And these guys are cave bounties. Oh, well, maybe not. Microtech. Oh, it's North Rock and Hurston. North Rock will take you to places, but they don't have any Arc Core specific bounties. They never have. At least not since I've been playing. Okay, let's store that Starfighter for now. It's a pity, because I like Arc Core. It gives me that Coruscant feel. Although it also has a kind of cyberpunk feel depending on where you end up. But it's like city, factory, planet. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Now, folks who are new to Star Citizen will not realize this, but the Expo and the Invictus, before Microtech had its exhibition hall, Arc Core was where you went for the Expo and the Invictus. In fact, my first Invictus was here at Arc Core. And it's a pity that they don't find something else to do with that, because why would you put the effort into building these convention centers if you never use them? For all I know, Lorville might have something too. I've got no idea where the earliest exhibition halls were, so it's perfectly possible they had an expo at Lorville once upon a time. I don't actually know that though, because that would be before my time. Let's see, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a good look at the expo center though. We need a little bit of more altitude here, and I don't think we're gonna get it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to see the expo hall from here. Or the convention center would be more accurate. Well, if I think of it when I'm leaving Area 18, I'll try to position where we can see it. No guarantees, though. Arc Core. Lots of advertising, a lot of
Now arriving.
a lot of commercial stuff going on here. Area 18 likes to bill itself as the commercial center of Stanton. Don't know how true that you really could call that, but it does have a case. Now, you'll see here we've got a bus stop for the convention center, but as you can see, it is closed for development. They only opened that up during the Invictus or Expo when they were here. And, well, oh Christ, they still have, they've still got the election posters here from, was it last year? Has it really been a year? Last year's elections for the Imperator of the United Empire of Earth. Medical unit. And this is going to be coming very soon. I believe with the 3.16 patch, this hospital will be open for business. That way you don't have to worry about, well, technically you'll probably still prefer spawning it by Genie Point. But you won't have to. So what I'm hoping to do right here is go to the store Cubby Blast, which I have taken the wrong way to. Here we go. I took the wrong way to, obviously. I took the long way around. But Cubby Blast, according to my sources, is where I can pick up some more Tiger Claw crypto keys. And I want at least one to replace what I've already done. Yep, there we are. And you know what? Just to be neat about it, a new custodian, because I left the custodian behind at the security depot. We'll be doing a little bit of transfer momentarily. Really don't know why I couldn't access the ship inventory. Hopefully I'll have better luck here. Back to the buses. And I really do think of these as buses as opposed to, you know, anything else, honestly. 35 seconds to the next bus. Well, you know, since I'm here, just going to take a quick look to see if I see any obvious Luminalia presence. Of course, on the other hand, if I were actually to find one, I'd feel compelled to actually go back and sell it, so maybe I should just lay off. Tram now approaching. Yes, it is. Yeah, they call it a train, but they call it tram, they call it train, but face it, this is a bus. I want to think trains. I'll think about what they've got over at Lorville or even Microtech, although I think of that more as a monorail. Or a maglev. But this is a bus. Nothing wrong with that. Buses are legitimate modes of transportation in the big city, and, well, ArcCore is the big city. I wonder if I can get a good look at the convention center from coming back. I'm not optimistic, but, you know, hope springs eternal, or so they tell me. It's not looking good, though. Hey, Cap, how are you doing today? Hope life's treating you well on your end of the monitor. You have missed an exciting stream so far, Cap. We started out by going to kill an Idris, which we succeeded in. Then, took out an ERT bounty, including a hammerhead. That went well. However, when I was starting to clean up there, things started to go pear-shaped. There was a Drake caterpillar that was hostile to me for some reason, so I started picking on it, and then friends of his showed up, apparently. And from the sounds of it, one of them actually wasn't a criminal. So I wound up with crime stat. So I went to one of my safe houses, picked up a spare gun and crypto key, and went to Lyria to clear my crime stat. And above the security depot, I encountered someone looking to shoot me down. And I racked up my first official PvP kill. Ironically, it was against a Cutlass Black. How's that for justice? Then, I cleared up my crime stat. Nice, yes. It was something. Now, to be fair, it was kind of unfair, because, I mean, he was in a Cutlass and I was in an Ares Ion, so, you know, it was kind of an unfair fight. But I was a criminal. I wasn't looking for fair. I was looking for kill. And now I am about to refill my safe house with the gun and crypto key that I took from it, so that I am prepared for any future situations. Well, at least until 3.16 lands and moves all my inventory back to Orison. Now let's see if we can get this to work properly this time. Okay, this time it's working. So go to local, we're going to transfer the custodian and the Tiger Claw. And we're also going to put the Demico there because, hey, if the good folks at the security there were happy to give it to me, I'm happy to take advantage of it. Let's see, I don't think I have anything else here that I want to take with me. No? Oh, I will put the armor back, though. There we go. See, that's how the inventory was supposed to work while I was in that armistice zone. Oh well. With any luck, it'll work now that I don't have a crime stat. Otherwise, things will get embarrassing very quickly. Alright, first things first. Let's do repair refuel. A little bit of damage. A lot of restock because I chucked some missiles at the guy too. Not many, but a few. I figured if he was going to be spending time out of my range firing missiles, I could do the same thing. Now, granted, the missiles probably won't restock properly, but who cares? I'm in a freaking Ares Ion. The big gun is the selling point. They'll all automatically reset and restock anyway when the patch lands, if past history is any indication.
100%.
Alright, let's get the damage done to my big gun. Heh, irony. Incidentally, the ion cannons do really well against bunker turrets. Just saying. Not that I have personal experience from this or anything like that today.
You are clear to launch.
I am indeed clear to launch. I cannot get a good angle. Here we go. Level out. Up and over. Try to stay out of the Area 18 autopilot zone.
Thank you. And please visit again.
I will visit again at some point, just not now. For now, we are going to return to Lyria at Sal 2 to restock the safe house. I'm going to try to go to Sal 2. Okay, maybe I need to be out in the atmosphere. Maybe I need to go to an orbital marker. And I don't need to conserve hydrogen. So burn, baby, burn. Okay, one more time. Can you set my route? Right. Fine. Orbital marker it is. One day we will have navigational computers that are capable of handling little details like this.
Landing gear up.
Today is not that day. And I was going to point out the convention center. Oh well.
Quantum travel.
Another time, perhaps.
Quantum travel complete.
Really, it's a wonder I can keep more than one thought in my head at a time.
Quantum travel engaged.
Now, lest one is thrown off, Sal 2 is not my only safe house in Stanton.
Quantum travel complete.
I have safe houses on all 4 of the planetary areas. So that way, no matter where I happen to be, I have easy access to the crypto keys and easy access to a submachine gun. The only caveat being, of course, that I do have to have a working spaceship. Either by my own, or somebody transporting me, or if somehow I've managed to get hold of somebody else's ship by less than legal means. I've never done that, but, you know, I like to have my options open.
Quantum travel complete.
And now, we drop this off, and we'll head out of the ARC core area and head back to Lorville? Well, Hurston. I think Hurston. I mean, I was really hoping to get enough reputation to push me to ERTs here today, but, well, you know, life happens when you're making plans, you know? That's okay, though, because I think it was a far more entertaining stream for it. And given the choice, I will take an entertaining stream as opposed to fulfilling any personal goals.
Landing gear down.
The last time I landed here, I was a criminal. Now, as far as they know, I am an upstanding citizen of the UEE. Yes, I am landing on the large landing pad. I'm a monster, I know.
Vengeance off.
Okay, now hopefully I should be able to access the ship inventory. Yes, there we go. So let us replace the crypto key, the custodian, and we'll throw the Demico here too because, hey, you can always find use for extra guns. Now, at some point, if I have to redo all of this when the next patch lands, if everything winds up back in my Orison inventory, I think another thing I'll do is I'll include at least some chest armor to go with that so I could have multiple guns available when I do these little invasions. That's the theory, right? But now I have restocked the safe house. The really funny part here is I didn't really plan to go to ArcCore. Originally I was heading to the Microtech safe house. But then I thought, you know what? I'm less likely to run into possible bounty hunters at ArcCore. So what happens? I run into a possible bounty hunter at ArcCore. Just goes to show plans. Well, what can I say about plans? I'm going to
Gear go.
hold to the Captain Cold methodology of plans. And I speak specifically of the character of Captain Cold on the television show The Flash, based on DC Comics. And he had a great four-step way of setting up his plans. 1. Make the plan. 2. Implement the plan. 3. Watch the plan go completely off the rails. 4. Throw out the plan. If that doesn't suit me to a T, I don't know what does. So, Hurston then. My quantum fuel is all topped off. Well, mostly topped off since I had to jump to this moon, but it's close.
Quantum travel engaged.
And we are off. I may have mentioned this before, but I do like the look of the Ares Starfighter. It's a good design. It's a good design. Now the Inferno is pretty similar, but it's kind of more of a grayish black instead of the white. Now you can change that with a paint job, of course, but it had other issues too, like the fact that it had the Gatling as opposed to the big honking laser cannon. And right now, my relationship with ballistics is, nah. They just tend to go far too quickly. Now, admittedly, the Inferno does have more ammunition and doesn't wipe them out as quickly as it does on smaller fighters and the like. And the Redeemer, another recent ship, has apparently huge supplies of ballistic ammunition. So, you know, all good with those. But those guys are kind of the exception to the rule. Just don't feel that you get all that much ballistic ammo with starfighter-sized ships. And if you're going dogfighting with against a starfighter that's using laser weapons, you are at a major disadvantage. You run out of ammo, your only recourse is to run. When he runs out of ammo, well, the problem is that he doesn't run out of ammo. He just waits for it to recharge, and then he starts shooting you again. So, it's all about the laser. A paid favor.
Complete.
I don't think I've seen that contract before. Who does that one? Sounds like a personal paid favor. Oh. Oh. Okay. I think. Fun fact about Miles Eckhart. He actually has 3 sets of missions. The first set of missions is the Arlington Gang missions. The second set of missions are his standard bounty missions. And then you have this one. This one opens up, shall we say, less legal avenues to go with. But, you know, I really literally just got rid of my crime stat, so we're going to go instead with one more Group ERT. Because I like money. I like dead starships. And I'm flying a big honking ion, which can break them. So, let's see. 1 target here. So, I guess it's 2 targets over at... Scroll. Over here at Magda. Oh, nuts. Do I have 2 at Magda? I have 2 at Magda. That are at the same location. This is probably not the smartest thing I've ever done. But hey, why should I start having good habits now? Let's go under this with a positive mental attitude. If they're right next to each other, that means I don't have to travel but get them both killed off. I can wipe them both out right away. That said, if one of them's a hammerhead, life is going to get very, very uncomfortable.
Travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
But if I should fail, then let it be while I fly too close to the sun. Let us go higher instead of trying to go low and avoid it melting the feathers. That's Greek mythology for you folks. Never let me say that I can't be educational as well as entertaining. Another downside is that, you know what? Slow it down. It occurs to me that I'm only seeing, there we go. It occurred to me that I was only seeing 3 big asteroids there, which meant I was probably waiting for lots and lots of smaller asteroids to spawn in. And it's like, do I really want to be moving at top speed against the possibility of slamming into an asteroid that has not yet spawned in? But now that they are spawned in, we can accelerate things. Unfortunately, I'm still not seeing any targets showing up, which is not a great sign. Of course, the other side of that is maybe they'll, when they spawn in, they will actually take their markers with them. It could happen. See, one of the big bugs in bounty hunting right now is that sometimes the opponent spawns in and his bounty target marker does not go with him. And if you kill him before that happens, you don't get paid. I'm pretty sure Casu was one of my targets, and he's flying the Hurricane. And the other one is Avilés, and he's in the freaking Hammerhead. Okay, well, you know what? Let's try to put some distance here, and while we're putting distance, I can take a moment to get my target status on the upper. The Hurricane's closing in fast, though. Don't like that. Before I go trying to kill off a Hurricane, I'd kind of like to make sure that I will actually be paid for killing the Hurricane. So by all means, give me your target marker, and I'll be more than happy to unleash ion laser hell upon you. Until then, all you're doing is wasting my time. That said, I might take a shot on him or two just to, you know, get his attention. I mean, historically speaking, I've not been able to kill off a Hurricane in 2 or 3 shots, so softening him up a little bit
Attack on shields.
doesn't psychologically bother me. Ah, nuts. Hammerhead's closing in too. That's more distance, more distance. Not interested in dealing with the Hammerhead and the Hurricane, while neither one of them... Oh! Okay, well, that situation has changed, hasn't it? Now that the markers have joined with the targets, it's basically Hurricane season. Oh, he's damaged. He shouldn't be able to take too much in the way of hits.
Target destroyed.
All right, Hammerhead.
Attack on shields.
Damn it.
Oh, life is tough. Life is so tough when you're a Hammerhead, right? All those crazy pilots, one of which is going to crash into you if I don't put some distance here. The problem with fighting a Hammerhead is that it's very easy to find yourself flying too close to these guys. And if you're flying too close to them, well, then you start running into the very real possibility of ramming into him by accident, and that is not a situation that I want to be in.
Shit.
Oh, is that a Valkyrie there too? The fun never stops. Torque and balance. I must have gotten a pretty good hit on myself. Come on, Hammerhead. Go down. Go down.
Attack. Launch shields.
I was hoping to do him in on that pass. But apparently, he is still bound and determined to be a problem. And I've lost track of where my target is. Explode, explode, explode! Yes! Okay, I could go... Yeah, I know, I could leave now and just be done with these guys and not have to worry about them, but... Well, I did speak earlier about cleaning up after myself, right? So by all means, let's be tidy. Warden. 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 Okay, looks like all our wardens around here, so... Okay, you want to be the one to get targeted? Okay, we'll target you. You have chosen poorly. Next. Look at them go. Almost like flying in formation, aren't they? Oh. Oh, that was not good. I might be losing control of my engines. I may have to reconsider the possibility of repair first. But why would I do something... Okay, that would be a good enough reason for me to do that. Turn off the coupling. Maybe that'll help.
Launch shields.
One more. And then we're going to go to Baijini Point and repair, because I do not want to try dealing with another potential hammerhead. Or something that's actually maneuverable like a hurricane. So, Baijini Point... I'm sorry, not Baijini. Everest Harbor. I keep forgetting I'm at Hurston now. Ordinarily, I would like to land on, say, the moon and do repairs, but the landing facilities on the outposts are not presently working when it comes to repair, restock, and all that other good stuff, so... It's space station or planet.
Quantum travel complete.
And there we are, Everest Harbor. One of my favorite... Oh. Okay, I should be careful about how I use my engines here, because I do seem to be pulling to the right a bit. Don't see anything obviously wrong, but obviously something's wrong. Okay, how about if I uncouple? Yeah, there we go. If I'm uncoupled, I'll at least have the velocity going in the right direction. Landing is going to be entertaining. This would not be the first time I've tried to pull a landing in a damaged engine state. And those landings tend to be exciting. And by exciting, I mean, oh my god, am I going to wreck my ship on the landing pad? So, you know, good times. Now, once we're in range of the ATC,
Thank you.
we're gonna,
Please visit again.
I'm going to take that just to mean I am about in range of ATC. So we're going to slow it down, hit the brakes. And we're going to figure out what landing pad to go to. And then we will come in with the exciting part of this approach.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Thank heavens it's close. Trying to get ourselves moving in the correct direction. Bring down the landing gear.
Landing gear down.
Now the problem here is that my angle is too great. I need to kind of level myself out. But I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to level myself out properly. These are the things you have to think about when you're on approach with engines that stopped working. Okay, stop, stop. A little closer. Down, down. Nuts, I bounced off the edge, didn't I? Yes, I did. Whoa, whoa. Okay, let's adjust my maximum speed here. We're not beaten yet. Close, but not yet. Down! Time to get a little bit of repair. Oh, yeah.
Have a pleasant stay.
Most repair I've had so far. Ooh, yeah, now that I'm looking at the MFD there, it's ugly.
Fuel 100%.
I mean, it put the ugh in ugly. No, I want self-status. Where's my self-status? Come on. There we go. All right. Everything's repaired. Everything's fixed. Theoretically speaking, I can deal with the last target with no problems. May all my guesses be right.
Landing gear up.
Yeah, that's the way we do it. That's not actually where I want to go, is it?
Thank you. And please visit again.
Sometimes it's simpler to not even bother with the standard route.
Quantum travel.
We'll just
Engage.
eyeball our destination and go from there. Jane East. Whoa, Jane. I got some bad news for you. Someone thought you were a bad person. And now there's a big old bounty on you. And I'm here to collect.
Quantum travel. Engage. Quantum travel complete.
So let's close in. I have no idea if he's a hammerhead or a hurricane or a vanguard warden. All I know is that it's likely to be bad news no matter how you slice it. Oh, and the odds that his marker will actually show up is
Contact.
pretty damn good, actually. Let's see, he's got a warden escort. But I don't see what he's flying yet. The fact that I'm not seeing him yet sure leads me to believe he's a hurricane. And he is. Decisions. Well, we're going to take out the hurricane first. He's the one who pays me. He's the one who's going to pay me, so. Come on, man. Give me some hits. And people like to say that the ion needs nerfed. They may or may not be right, but, you know, at moments like this, I think, seriously? So far, his shields are in perfect shape.
Attack on shields.
I don't think I've landed a hit on him yet. Oh, I guess having an asteroid in my way probably didn't help. Is that Hurston security? That's Hurston security. Oh, I'm gonna end up with crime stat before this is over. Because I've been hearing stories about how Hurston security's been doing scans in the middle of a fight. And no, that is just not gonna happen. No, no, and no.
Missile locked. Attack on shields.
Oh, I got a hit on him, so I'll take that as a win. Unfortunately, I'm not killing him, which is a loss. Oh hell. Anytime I hear the word, see the words collision alert, I get nervous. There we go. Target down. And now I'm getting out of here before one of these wise guys at Hurston Security decides to scan me.
Quantum travel. Engage.
There we go. Whew, that was a close one. I don't need to go to aerial.
Complete.
Okay, let's hop ourselves back to Everest Harbor. No need to end up in Klesher because I decided to lose my temper with a Hurston security pilot and blow him up. And if you think I wouldn't do it, oh, think again, I would do it.
Quantum travel complete.
I have a long-standing antagonism towards Hurston security. And they deserve it. So we'll get into the Armistice Zone. Looks like I'm approaching from the underside, so I'm going to need to change up the orientation at some point. In fact, why don't I do that now? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all relative when you're in space. All the same, though, I think this approach works better. Really comes down to when you want to flip over. At the beginning of your approach or at the end. There is no right way or wrong way. Unless you ram into the station. That's clearly a wrong way. Don't do that.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Yeah, there are some minor bugs with the communications lately. Give me a landing zone.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Is it this way? No. In fact, it is all the way over there. I've had worse. Pop down the landing gear.
Landing gear down.
Coming in for the approach. And it's always so much easier when all your engines are working properly. And we'll let the auto land do the rest.
Engines off.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
And there we go. That'll about do it for today's stream. Tonight, yeah, flashbacks. This has been the last stream of 2951 for me. There will be no Star Citizen stream from me next week because next week is literally Christmas Day, and that's not gonna happen. But I will be streaming my Star Trek Online stream on Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Star Citizen will, for as far as I'm concerned, returns on New Year's Day of 2952. And at that point, we should be well into 3.16. We won't be in 3.16.1, which is apparently going to be a thing, but we'll still have some entertaining things going on. Possibly even Jumptown 2. Maybe. We'll see how things roll out. In any event, I would like to thank everybody for watching, whether you are watching this live or video on demand, either at YouTube or here on Twitch. Glad to have you stop by. Hope to see you all next time. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.